Scottie McClue. A very warm welcome to our random pop-up of the internet phone-in. Now, it's Monday night, nothing gets past me, and it's Monday the 28th of March, so do come and join us. I thought we'd pop up because I was slightly concerned with what's happened at the Oscars, and I'm asking the question, have we lost the plot? What's going on there? DINKY-DOO, like Aiden, DINKY-DOO, I fit like Scottie. Lovely to have you with us, Scottish loon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do come and join us. And there's Aiden, DINKY-DOO, Gorbles boy. Hello, Scottie. Hello, Gorbles boy. I hope you don't mind me popping up on a Monday evening. At what time is it? It's 18 minutes to 9 o'clock on Monday evening. Scottie, how are you doing? I'm fine, your man. I thought we'd just say hi. Yes, absolutely. Gorbles boy indeed. Well, I'd put out a short video to say, should Scottie McClue be awarded an Oscar for 30 years of Scottie McClue's Nightline? And, people obviously have an opinion about that, but I'm very, very glad that I didn't actually go to the evening. So there you are, because who knows what would have happened? Hello, Scottie. You ready for Easter? Absolutely, large fellow. DINKY-DOO, I say. Have a word in private. Yes, Gorbles boy, I think that's right. You would have a word in private. There's Susan saying, hi, Scottie. Hi, Susan. I hope you're okay. And welcome to our random pop-up for Monday night. DINKY-DOO, Scottie McClue, Peter Dale Nevins. How lovely to have you with us. What a gentleman. Kenneth says, good evening, Scottie. Good evening, Kenneth, and welcome, welcome. So good to have you with us, and DINKY-DOO. Where were you born, says large fellow? Well, you see, I wasn't actually born, large fellow. I was knitted. My grandmother knitted me. We think she may have dropped a couple of stitches. Now, Venom, you'll have to go for being a half-witted idiot. Venom there, guys, is a half-witted idiot, and this is not the place for you, Venom. You'll need to go and grow up somewhere else, I'm afraid. So we'll send you down the Swanee and give you a lifetime ban for being an idiot. There we are. Trolls have to get roasted, guys, and get sent down the Swanee. There he goes. End of Venom. Fantastic. Wonderful. That's what we like. There he is. Away. Away with you. There we are. Thoughts on Will Smith? Well, yes. I mean, obviously, the guy was offended because the comedian made a joke about his wife, which he shouldn't have done. You should never, ever go out to offend like that. Do you see what I mean? I've never done it in 40 years in entertainment. I've never actually offended because, people have to take offense. But I mean, that was just a bit too much. We don't need this. My view is, what would the great Oscarians like Sidney Poitier, yes, and Bob Hope and Alec Guinness and all these real quality gentlefolk, what would they make of that kind of shenanigans going on in front of the world's media? I mean, for goodness sake, have we lost the plot? There's Thomas Hamilton. Hello, pal. Hello, Tom. DINKY-DOO. I'm doing okay, thanks, Scottie. I send you strength, Susan, and we think about you. The whole world sends you strength at this difficult time. Peter says, I could not agree more, Scottie. Two wrongs don't make a right. Absolutely, Peter. You know what I mean? You sort them out, Scottie. You have the word power. Gary, somebody has to put a stop to it, even if I go as a guest. Did you fight in a war? No, but my father did, and my grandfather, both my grandfathers did. Arsenal or Tottenham, just whichever you like. You go and see them both play, Thierry. And then say, defending your wife, it's family honor. Yes, absolutely. Yes, now, you're quite right. Defending the wife, but don't really think that was the way to do that. So there you have it there. Good evening, Sir Scottie. Geodog, what a privilege and a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for all your fine comments and your brilliant knowledge on paratroopers and parachuting. There we are. Violence isn't the way. Never, ever, ever is violence the way. Rangers or Celtics, says Gary. Go and see them both play, Gary. They're both excellent teams. And then make your mind up. That's what I would say to you. When are you going to sing Slow Boat to China again? Ah, Kenneth, I'd like to get you. So fantastic. It was a joke. So there we are. Will Smith himself even laughed. Yes, I think it looked as if he laughed, and then the wife obviously got to him about it. It wasn't a good look. It could have been handled like gentlemen. Absolutely. I've just uploaded this minute a new video to TikTok about that. Have a look at it, guys. Have a look at all the TikTok videos. They're for you. They're made with love. That's what it's about. Scottie McCLUE is the daddy of Scotland. I thank you. Did they make headlines? That's the reason. Yeah, but Aidan, there's headlines and headlines. They used to say there's no such thing as bad publicity. But I mean, come on. There's one or two people, no names, no McCLUE, I could mention recently that I've had some bad publicity and it hasn't actually helped them. I love you, Scottie. I thank you very much. Listened every night on the radio, says Nat. Nat, that was the way to do it. You can give us a call. I'll open up the lines. Good old Scottie, dinky-doo. I miss the old phone-in debates, says Stephen. Thank you for your kind words, says our Susan. Good evening, Scottie. I hope all's well with you, Stephen. How lovely to hear you, and thank you for keeping us all safe. So there we go. Now, let's open up the phone lines, and we'll see what people think. Remember, of course, total respect in your calls. You'll see the number across the bottom of the screen. And if you'd like to give me a phone, the phone lines are open now. I've never been, says Drewski. Where are you, Faye, pal? I'm Faye the Universe, Rab. Yes, Scottie, dinky-doo, fantastic. Robbie, I'm Faye the Universe. I'm a child of the universe. I ask you, I can't see the number. Well, you won't see the number. The number's actually on the YouTube channel across the screen. So if you pop into, I don't know if you've got two devices, but if you can pop into Scottie McCLUE's YouTube channel, Scottie McCLUE, the internet phone in, subscribe, tap the bell, and the lines are open there. Come to Buffalo in New York, Scottie, large fellow. I'd love to come to Buffalo in New York. You're live in Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie, it's Cal.
Hello, Callum. How are you getting on, La? You dinky-doo?
Yes, I'm dinky-doo. How are you?
Dinky-doo. Excellent. Lovely to hear you. How are things with you tonight?
Good, I'm missing a walk.
Excellent. Are you out for a walk? And have you got nice weather, Callum?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't said to you, Kamara ha, ooh, hakama ha. Fantastic. How's that? Excellent. And whereabouts are you?
I'm going up to Castle Bay.
Oh, lovely, up to Castle Bay. It'll be absolutely gorgeous tonight. Is the water like a mill pond?
Yeah, I can send you a picture.
Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Lovely to hear that, Callum. How's the fishing going?
I haven't been out yet.
Right. Are you thinking about it, though?
Yeah.
Excellent. Callum, lovely to hear you. Take great care of yourself. And as we say in the best of circles, dinky-doo.
Dinky-doo.
And as we say in Bara, aichivamaha. Aichivamaha. Top man, that's Callum from Bara. You're live in Scottie's phone in. Who's that? Hello?
Scottie, it's Nathan.
How are you getting on, Nathan? Are you dinky-doo?
I'm not bad, I'm dinky-doo.
Excellent stuff. Very good to hear from you.
You too. I was commenting on your TikTok.
Yes, wonderful stuff. We're very, very busy tonight. Go on, Nathan.
You are a legend.
A legend, absolutely. A legend in my own lunchtime.
My Uncle Robert and my mother used to talk to you on your phone-ins.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, fantastic.
And I can't believe I finally got to call you. I'm very happy.
Well, no, I'm very, very happy that you've done it. It's lovely to hear from you, and a big dinky-doo to you.
Dinky-doo to you too, Daddy of Scotland.
Daddy of Scotland, lovely to hear you, Nathan. Take great care of yourself.
You too, Scottie.
And tell everybody I'm asking for them.
I shall do.
Fantastic. See you, Lala. Tara, all the best to you. What a nice fella. There we are. Isn't that fantastic? So who have we got here? Yay! Scottie, Dinky-Doo. Hello, Shane. Dinky-Doo to you there, Stephen. Follow us, guys, as soon as you come on. Very, very important to get the followers going. Yes, indeed. Because millions of people, literally millions, have watched the videos, but not everybody has followed. So get your act together. I think it's top left, and you'll see a plus sign. If you're coming on the phones, do come on and let us know what is what. Always lovely to have you with us. Scottie, what do you think about the hassle learner drivers getting roads with impatient drivers? Stephen, I think it's shocking. If I see L plates, I always give them a wide berth and plenty of care. That's what it's about. We all had to learn. How long have you been on, Scottie? I've been on 10 minutes. Numpty, no, sorry, 11 minutes exactly. No, sorry, 11 minutes and 3, 4, 5 seconds, Numpty Heat. So there we are. We had to come up to talk about the Oscars tonight because what's going on, I think, is shocking. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, love your lives, says the wonderful Matt Perkins, Dinky-Doo. There we are. Think about cancel culture gone mad. So, Monkey, yes, it'll be very interesting to see what the fallout of this is like. There we go. The lives are great, Scottie. Floaty, hashtag Floaty, the first lord of the internet. There we are. From Buffalo, wonderful stuff. There we go. Large fellow. How good to have you with us, Sir Scottie. Why are British paras called jocks? Well, Geodog, any Scottish regiment are the jocks. So it's not actually the British paras. It's just the fact that they're probably originally a Scottish regiment and they've joined or been seconded to the paras. So there you are. So the Argylls, when they were sent into Aden in 1968, they were jocks. There we are. You need to get the jocks in because Scottish regiments have a very high reputation. Fantastic stuff. Now, the wonderful Chris Grant is sending me lots and lots of beautiful TikToks. Chris, thank you so much for that. You TikTokers are so generous to me. It's very, very good of you. Dinky-Doo. Thanks, Scottie. I've been a driving instructor for 20 years and see some crazy things on the road. You will do, Steve. Just people not thinking. I broke down at a motorway interchange one night. The car just sort of slowed to halt, so I thought I'll try and make it to the hard shoulder on the inside, and the guy behind me swung out and tried to overtake me. When I had no power, I had the flashers going and was clearly heading for the hard shoulder. And he thought he'd shoot past. That's the kind of half-wit that is on the road. You know, thank goodness for you and I say to you, Stephen. Follow us, guys, as soon as you possibly can. There we are. Drewski says, large fella, I'm an hour west of Buffalo in Ontario. There we are. Fantastic. We love it. All my beautiful American listeners, Christopher is sending me TikToks. Christopher, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the TikToks. I can't believe I spoke to you. You're a legend, Daddy of Scotland. Nathan, what a privilege it was to hear you. And Dinky-Doo, I say to you. Wow, so dangerous. Absolutely. It's 5 to 8 in my house. Numpty Head, it will be 5 to 8 because you haven't put your clocks forward 1 hour, which you should have done last night or this morning at 1 o'clock. Did you see the Will Smith incident, Scottie? Well, not live, obviously, Rangers, but I've seen it during the day. I think it's shocking. I think that we've lost the plot, you know. Not all of us, obviously, but I mean, as people, as human beings, what are we thinking? And I would like to remind everybody, as I've done in my beautiful TikTok video, which I've just made about 15 minutes ago, I made a video and I've put it up on TikTok. So you should be able to see it. And what I'm saying is, have we lost our gentlemanliness? Has all this sort of equality stuff and men are this and men are that and men are the next thing? You know, have we lost our ability for gentlemanly behavior? Now, this was until last night, one of the world's great social events where all the world's media are watching all these multimillionaires give each other a pat on the back because we like a wee bit of glam. But there was nothing glamorous about that behavior last night. And what I'm saying to every single one of you, what would the greats think of that? I remember Sir Alec Guinness collecting his award. Thank you all very much indeed. I think that was kind of the sort of gist of his acceptance speech. And I think of the Oscars that when I was young, they were introduced by Bob Hope, perhaps one of the finest comedians we've ever had. You know, and also the great Billy Connolly has been there. Fantastically funny, clever, talented man. So these are the kind of people. Sidney Poitier. Yes. I think he was the first gentleman of color to receive an award. And an outstanding actor and a wonderful gentleman. You know, so incredible. I would direct you to the YouTubes, Sidney Poitier's daughter, talking about his award. What would Bob Hope and Sidney Poitier and Alec Guinness have made of last night's shenanigans, I ask you? If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, Scottie_McCLUE, if you're watching on TikTok, you probably won't have the number across the bottom of the screen because I don't think we've got a facility for that as yet. But the numbers across the bottom of the screen, if you can subscribe to Scottie McClue's YouTube channel, it's just Scottie McClue, the internet phone-in. You can phone me live from all over the world. Scottie, how are you doing? Davey, lovely to have you with us. Good morning, Scottie from Australia. How's the First Lord of the Internet? DINKY-DOO. Frank, what a privilege to have you with us from Australia, from down under. I think that Mr. Smith used this incident to increase his perception as being a real tough guy with a show of bravado. You see, to me, slapping a comedian is not a tough guy. To me, any kind of violence like that is not a tough guy. It's somebody who's just hit a weak spot. That's what I would have said. He wouldn't have said that if she'd lost her hair due to cancer treatment. Shouldn't take the mince out of a woman who's lost her hair. If it was said in a pub, he'd have got worse. Well, freebie, that's a possibility. Phones! What's happening here? Oh, I just missed you. Right. You can give us a call back. No problem at all. Bob Hope was a legend, says Tad. Yeah, I mean, people should go on YouTube. Have a look at the likes of Bob Hope and Sidney Poitier and Alec Guinness at the Oscars. Just pop it in, you know, and it'll come up, I ask. I mean, I asked last night, should I, Scottie McClue, be given an Oscar for 30 years of Scottie McClue's Nightline? And that's up to you to say one way or the other, to say ichi or okay. Do you know, Scottie, that Scotland has approximately 790 islands? Approximately, Samuel. Yes, interesting. Can you name them all? Best part of Scotland, absolutely large fellow. I thank you so much. I've sent you a wishing bottle. Christopher, thank you so much for my beautiful TikTok gifts. Can you adopt me as a son, Scottie? Oh, Nathan, what a nice thing to say. I think you'd be a fabulous son. 40 TikToks. Chris Grant has sent me 40 TikToks. Hello from Kirsty and I. VJ, lovely speaking to you the other night, and DINKY-DOO. And I didn't, I didn't like the idea that you thought I was trying to chase you. So there we go. Josh, you need to grow up. Back on the air with Mr. Scottie, the walking encyclopedia. Here we got here. You're live in Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
It's Nathan again, Scottie. Sorry for phoning.
No, Nathan, why should you ever be sorry for phoning?
I just didn't want to hold the lines. I just seen what you were saying about Chris Rock.
Yes.
If Will Smith couldn't handle the joke, that was what his career was built on. He shouldn't have been at the Oscars.
Ah, very interesting, Nathan. Yes, if you can't handle the banter. I mean, I've sat at dinners and the main speaker has slagged Scottie McCLUE off. And it was a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because
the Oscars, you know the comedy's coming.
Well, Nathan, I'm also a great believer, a mention's better than no mention.
Precisely.
There's only one thing worse than being talked about, Nathan, and that's no being talked about.
Precisely. If Will Smith wasn't happy that his wife got some publicity, he shouldn't have been at the Oscars.
Well, right, I shall put that out to the nation, Nathan, and we'll see what's what.
I might get shouted at, but Will Smith was laughing at the beginning.
Yeah, well, he was actually. I think the wife must have signalled to him, I'm no happy,
Precisely.
That's the stuff. Mind you, he could also have said to the wife, oh, come on, honey, for goodness sake.
Precisely.
It's a joke, that sort of stuff. But we shall see how this develops. Very, very interesting. And listen.
Chris Rock is a dark-edged comedian, so the joke should have been expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're going to get that.
Precisely.
And I mean, the likes of Ricky Gervais and that, they didn't hold back.
Oh, precisely.
Although I don't think he'd have done that.
Yeah. But as we both noted, Will Smith was laughing with the joke.
Yes, he seemed to be absolutely going with the flow, and then this appeared out of thin air.
Precisely. It was like a guy out of town on a Saturday night when he's had too many and not happy when his girlfriend gets angry.
Well, that's right, absolutely. And of course, it's never good to interfere between a couple if they're having a shouting match.
Yes,
in case she gives you a welly, you know what I mean?
Precisely.
Lovely talking to you, Nathan. I'll put this to the nation and DINKY-DOO.
I'll catch you later, DINKY-DOO. You too.
You're a legend.
You too. I hope you adopt me.
See you, Lala.
Catch you later.
Catch you now. There we are. That's our Nathan. Now, very good point, actually. So there we are. So, Josh, you need to go and grow up or get yourself onto sort of an idiot's TikTok and not on here. If it's not Scottish, it's crap, says Biden. Last time I spoke to you, I asked if you thought about getting an interview with Stanley Baxter. I would love that, Shane. Stanley Baxter, to me, is a legend, a real legend. Now, Stanley Baxter, there's the kind of person you should have at the Oscars. So there we are. Mr. Potato Head says it was all set up, a publicity stunt. Well, unless they would need to have practiced the slap. We've heard Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globe Awards. Absolutely. Peter says, DINKY-DOO, Scottie, violence is never the answer. Quite right. Right, just became a top viewer, Christopher, thank you. And thank you for my beautiful gifts and for all your beautiful gifts. There we are. Hey, from the Clan Anderson. Pops, lovely to have you with us from the Clan Anderson, I say. Christopher has just sent me 40 TikToks. Can you beat that? My goodness me, thank you. Wish I could join you for longer, Scottie, says Gucci. But I've got to work early, DINKY-DOO. Gucci, you take great care of your dear self. Have a lovely sleep and DINKY-DOO. And don't work too hard, I ask you. Right, who we got here? Now then. Gorbals boy, 100%. There we are. Now, what do we got here? Good evening from Beaumore in Isla, says the wonderful Ali McNeil. Kamrahau Ali, Hakama Maha, Falchi, Keed Millie Falchi, Don TikTok, I guess, Scotchach McCLUE. There we are. I thought it was all a setup. Don't know, Shane. And there we are, DINKY-DOO. Come out, ye jolly pluming lads that work among the grund. They'll be turning in their graves at the behaviour of Will Smith. He's dug his own grave. Do you think so, Gorbals boy? Do you think it will affect his work or not? I think Will Smith shot himself in the foot. It's a case of here today, gone tomorrow. Hello from Gordon and Oliver. Gordon Robertson, what an absolute privilege to have you on with us tonight. And hello to you. There's D-Dobbs. Hello from Cork City. Now would you listen to the likes of you now from Cork City, from the old Coal Quay. I love Cork City. There's a place I could live for the rest of my life. I love it. Fantastic. Dinky-Doo, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. And thanks again, Chris, for all that generosity. Wise lad. Nat says 100%. 100%, Nat. That's what it's all about, I say. A true gentleman, all true gentlemen and great actors. Yes, Alec Guinness, Sidney Poitier, and Bob Hope used to introduce the Oscars. Chris Rock is a dark comedian, hence the joke. I understand. Yes, indeed. But I still don't know. That other comedians would have made it. Who was the great guy that used to have Rickles? Was it Rickles? His second name. And they had him at huge doos where the president was there, and he was a great one for taking the mince. There we are. Fantastic stuff. Dinky-Doo. What have you done here? I've never done dark comedy. Was it banter, though? In Pollock, he'd get a kick in the plums for being him alone. Bothy, I know. And Pollock, they understand that kind of summary justice. We'll maybe get a delegation from Pollock at the Oscars next year. So there we have it. Just glad it wasn't Ricky Gervais. Scottie, Will Smith is under the thumb. I say the Oscars should be held in Govan Hill. Yes, I think they should probably move about because we all pay at the box office for top movies. There we are. Scottie, if you were ever to win the lottery, what would the numbers be? Numpty Heat, I've got them in front of me here. I won't give them out. I won't be so basis to give them out in case you put them on and win. Although I wouldn't mind that, I don't think. Dinky-Doo. Thank you, Willy Wonka. Very, very nice to have you, Maha. Fantastic. Now then, no mercy to these mentalists. I've seen bigger domestics at my granny's house. Absolutely bothy radio. Hello from Paisley in Glasgow. Big Dangle. Hello from Paisley, near to Glasgow. Paisley in Renfrewshire. Oh, I have to correct you. Don Rickles, another great roaster and very funny. Yeah, but he was amazing. I don't ever remember Don Rickles offending. He was just funny. And I've seen him appearing in front of Ronald Reagan, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. They were all there. Colombo appeared as well. We love it. Stanley Baxter was fantastic. Is fantastic, Aidan. Try and get yourself a YouTube about Stanley Baxter's life. He's on it. Stanley must be in his early 90s now. Outstanding. They should have kept Stanley on. He was really a very, very fine actor, comedian, and entertainer. Christopher, thank you so much for my TikToks. You're very, very kind. We never beg on here, but it is so lovely of you. Those that tap the dollar bill in the YouTube and those that send gifts on TikTok, it's so very, very much appreciated. If anybody's feeling flush, we've got a small GoFundMe running at the moment, and we've raised 50% already. And it's for equipment for the show. There we are. The Slap Defo made connection. Well, there you are, Nat, you see. So I don't think that was a setup, to be honest. But you never know. That madness last night was handbags at dawn. So there you are. Yes, you don't think it was a very, very painful slap. Hi from South Lancashire, from Hamilton, Dinky-Doo, Cara. How lovely to have you with us from South Lanarkshire. I set up your radio station there. Did you hear that the TS Queen Mary is going to have engines fitted so she can sail again? Gordon, this is so funny. You and I must be septic. I found out on Saturday, or was it Sunday? Was it yesterday? Watching a YouTube, and Princess Anne had visited the Queen Mary, called after her grandmother, of course. And no, her great grandmother. What am I talking about? Her great grandmother, the Queen Mary. Because you'll know this, Gordon. But the Queen Mary was just the Queen Mary when she was launched in 1933 from Denny's, William Denny and Brothers Dumbarton. And then they asked her, John Brown's asked, I think it would be Williamson Buchanan in those days, pre-Caledonian Steam Packet. And they asked the owners if they would mind calling her Queen Mary II, because with Lloyd's registry, you can't have more than one vessel of exactly the same name. And they agreed to call her Queen Mary II, so that the huge Cunarder, yard number was at 534, could be called Queen Mary. Otherwise, the Cunarder would have had to have been called Queen Mary II. And Williamson Buchanan agreed, and there was a lovely picture of Her late Majesty Queen Mary in the saloon on the Queen Mary when I was wee. I always remember beautiful big sofas. She was a lovely, lovely thing, Gordon. I don't know if you were on her much. I was very privileged. I was taken up to the bridge, and I got to steer her. And then I was taken down the engine room as well. Tremendous. And I was coming across from Dunoon one night. I was quite young. And I was down the engine room watching them manoeuvring and hadn't realised how quickly we'd arrived at Gourock and left. And there were no phones on boats in these days. There would have been a VHF radio. But I got carried up to Glasgow. And my parents were expecting me at Gourock at 6 o'clock. And I had to telephone them from Bridge Wharf at 8:15, I think it was, when she arrived at Bridge Wharf, because she would swing round and come up river astern, being steered from the bow emergency position, with the skipper on the bridge giving hand signals to the steersman. There we are, DINKY-DOO. Very sad to see the passing of Mary Lee. She was a huge star and a very nice lady. Absolutely, Gordon. And of course, Mary and Jack were big Scottie McCLUE fans. Kirsty Allen, what have you done? Kirsty Allen has sent me £5 on YouTube. Kirsty, thank you very, very much. Thank you for that. Kirsty must have tapped the dollar bill, bottom left, and she sent me £5. And guys, that will go in the pot for the new microphone. I love it. This is so kind of you. Thank you, Kirsty. I've been on TS Queen Mary a couple of times during her renovations. Well, Gordon, I remember the engines very, very well. There was 3 of them. And there was a reversing turbine and 2 mainstream head turbines. And what happened when the telegraphs rang, the engineers, they called them greasers, assistant engineers, but they called them greasers. And the chief engineer would be on duty. The second engineer would answer the telegraph. And the greasers stood up on a platform with these wheels, horizontal wheels. And of course, what they actually were huge valves for the steam. So when the telegraph rang for slow ahead, you'd see the chief engineer have a look out of the porthole at the side just to see where she was, and then they would adjust the steam. And they watched the steam gauges, the T's and P's, temperatures and pressures. You're welcome, Kirsty. It's so kind of you. Thank you. Very much appreciated, particularly in this day and age when money's tight for everyone. Scottie, what happened to your radio job? Possibility that is in the works. Also, do you think your show gets held back by the same people calling each week rather than new callers? Or is it good? No, F document. For years and years and years, I have had a core of callers to a phone in. And it never, ever, ever holds you back, because it's much better to speak to someone live calling than it is to not hear anybody. For instance, tonight, if you wanted to call in, you can do. I shall set up the phones for you again. We'd reduce them, but I can set them up for you again, and you can come on and give us a call. Scottie, there was also HMS Queen Mary that was sunk at Jutland. Was there, Anthony White? I remember HMS Iron Duke was Jellicoe's flagship, and Admiral Beatty, and the Queen's father, King George the Sixth, as Duke of York, was a young officer on board the Queen Elizabeth, I think. Are you sure it wasn't the Queen Elizabeth, Admiral Beatty's flagship? My dad was a boiler technician in the American Navy. Fantastic, Anthony. Wonderful stuff. And, you know, the thing about the Queen Mary II, she was almost silent. And she was so stable. Even in a wild sea, she just rolled very gently. A beautiful thing. And all you had, the loudest you had on the deck was this. And that was the tiny, tiny whine from the turbines. We had obviously a diesel, chatters, boom, 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 boom. You know, and it's loud and noisy, but this was a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. And if they're going to get, because I'd said, Gordon, on social media comments, you know, surely they must have the original drawings for the turbines. A turbine blade is about that size. From my nose to my bonnet, that's the size of a turbine blade. But the casings will be about, or at least a foot thick for high pressure steam. There we are, Dinky-Doo. I say to every single one of you, give us a call if you want to, folks. Hi from, oh, yes, indeed. You know, we've spoken about Stanley Baxter many times. I'd love it if I could have him on. Will Smith will be suspended by the Academy, says Dr. Jitters. Do you think so? I think it will affect not just him, but his whole family. You give us a shout out to Jay. It's his birthday. I can, Aaron. There, no work for son or daughter. Ricky Gervais had no qualms. Yes, indeed, but I never found Ricky Gervais offensive. Evening, Scottie, from the lovely Columba Hotel in Oban. Zach, I know the Columba Hotel very well, just along from the South Pier. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And so there we have it. Can I get a shout out? It's my birthday, yes. Don Rickles, yes, Don Rickles, Shane. That was your man. As somebody said about the Colombo, wait till I see back. Pardon me. Aha. There we are. There we go here. You're a legend. You have a new hairstyle nowadays. Yes, I do. There we are. I'm just looking back. Yeah, I can't see it there. There's Disco Pete sending me beautiful GGs. Disco Pete, a mini speaker. Disco Pete's one of these very, very generous people that when he comes live on the TikTok, he always sends me a gift. Disco Pete, you're so kind. Thank you for following. Has everybody watching on TikTok actually followed? Ask yourselves that. I'm not sure if TS Queen Mary will be stored with one or two funnels. I saw there was a lot of discussion about that. Am I right in thinking that her present funnels are, because I saw her from the Clydeside Expressway, are not the original dimensions, they're thinner. Is that right? See, Gordon, you'll be ahead of me here, but there was a huge number of these turbine steamers turned out by Denny's. The Turbinia, which was Charles Parsons' experimental turbine yacht Turbinia, appeared in 1896. And in 1901, Denny's had built the first commercial turbine steamer, which was the King Edward. Then in 1906, they had the Duchess of Argyll. And then following the Duchess of Argyll, what would the next one be? Probably 1911, the Queen Alexandra. And she went on fire and she was sold to Canadian Pacific Railways as the Princess Patricia, the Princess Pat. And she traveled to Vancouver. And a replacement was built, a replacement Queen Alexandra in 1912, which subsequently became David McBrain's St. Columba, the three funneler. Karim has joined us and is sending these wonderful gifts. And that takes us up to 1912. The next one would be 1925, the Glen Sannox twin funnels. 1926, the King George V. 1930, the Duchess of Montrose. 1932, from Harland and Wolff at Govan, the Duchess of Hamilton, which I remember very well. 1933 was the Queen Mary, and I think 1936 was the Marchioness of Lorne, was turbine as well, and the Marchioness of Graham was a paddle steamer. Have I got that round the right way? So there we have it. So that's you into these. Hello from Malaga, Scottie. Lovely to have you with us from Malaga in Spain. Hootsman says Sky King, DINKY-DOO Sky King. What a privilege to have you with us. Fantastic. What are your thoughts on what happened at the Oscars? Sparkles, we've been talking about that all night. That's why I decided to pop up and do the phone in to get your opinions on it. I think it's absolutely shocking. And I think, have we lost our ability for gentlemanliness and manners? The Oscars used to be a tremendous thing. I mean, really exciting. The Duchess of Hamilton was a lovely boat, says Gordon Robertson. She was. She was 1932. And when I worked in the boats, we used to lie off waiting for the turbine. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Scottie, it's Karim.
Ah, Karim, what a privilege. What do you think of tonight's random pop-up?
It's fantastic, Scottie. I was doing bits and pieces around the house there, and I've just checked my phone and they said that you're on. And then even more so fantastic that you're doing live calls in tonight as well.
Well, I thought we would, Karim, because what happened at the Oscars I thought was shocking, and I thought the people need to discuss this.
I heard about it this morning briefly on the news, and I knew, right, well, if it's on the news, it will be on TikTok, and by the end of the day, I've seen so many types of videos of it on TikTok.
And what I've done, Karim, just before I came on, so it'll be about 45 minutes ago, I made a video asking people, have we lost our manners?
Well, I think you have to remember, people look up to this and see all these people there as role models. You've got aspiring actors that want to so badly, and then we've got an incident that happens like that. I think if during that insult, if Will Smith stood up with his family and walked out,
yes,
that would have had a stronger statement.
And then wasn't there for his award. Mm-hmm. Even if he'd made a short speech and said, either said nothing or said, I really can't take this. I feel my wife has been very insulted.
Yes.
Or what about refusing the award?
Yeah, I think there's lots of things he could have done to make a more powerful and a lot stronger statement towards, because let's be honest, there are comedians that, and I think this is when we spoke about this before, there's too many people that are politically the PC brigade or the cancel
Yes,
culture.
now you see, I don't think it should be political at all. And I think back 2 seconds, Karim. I'm just looking. There's the wonderful Rod Kay from Liverpool. DINKY-DOO to Scottie from the big fella. This is a wonderful, wonderful man who's very big in the media. And I just wanted to say hi to him. Top man. Lovely, lovely. So sorry, Kareem, but no, what I think, and I would direct everybody towards YouTube to look this up. I can remember Oscars all my life, and I used to get quite excited when they were on. It was like a real highlight on a Sunday evening, and you would stay up late to see them. And you know, Bob Hope, who's perhaps one of the finest comedians ever, would introduce them. He introduced stacks of them. And then you got, you know, real gents of actors on. Alec Guinness, I think his acceptance speech was something like, "Thank you all very much indeed." You see? So it should never, these platforms should never be used to say, "Hi, I represent the Greens," or "I represent, you know, this, that, the next thing." That's not what the evening's about. The evenings, we've selected you as an outstanding actor in an outstanding movie. Would you please come up and receive this award from the Academy? Great. Thank you all very much indeed. I'd also like to thank Kareem and everybody who's supported me over the years. Not at all, Scottie. Hey. And then you sit down. You know, and that's it.
But it was interesting to see, and I just think it's such a shame for young kids watching that as well. You know.
Yeah, and what are you going to think of a role model? Because I mean, Will Smith, I've watched his movies. You know, they're outstanding.
Yes.
You know, but I mean that it just reduces the whole thing. And, you know, violence reduces the whole thing.
Yes. Well, it could be that he could be suffering from some type of mental health or stress, and that just pushed him over the edge.
Well, I think there's going to be stress and evenings. I mean, I don't know if the man takes a drink. What I would probably have done at the Oscars, I mean, I don't drink alcohol now, as you know, but I used to enjoy a refreshment. And what I think I would probably have done at the Oscars when I enjoyed a refreshment was had nothing that night. I'd probably even have been driving myself. You know what I mean? I don't bother with the limos and things like that. And they used to send limos for Scottie, and I thought, I'll meet you there, you know. That sort of idea. So there's not really a need for. And then if I wanted a refreshment, I'd have had one later. You know, or said to the missus, "Come on and we'll go home and we'll open a wee bottle of wine."
Yes. Well, I think there's calls, it said in the news that people are now calling for his award to be scrapped. That they should take it back because of what he done last night.
Yes, so, it's a shame in a way, but I mean, just something like that is just, it's almost the antithesis of social behavior.
Well, I think it reflects as well, Scottie, with your statement there as well, that everybody in society at the moment is kind of hurting. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty. If you think back in my granny and granda when they were younger, things didn't change often or quick, you know. But nowadays things change at a drop of a hat.
Yes.
And you have to adapt or you sink.
Well, I mean, one day we were at peace and the next day we had a war.
Yeah.
And you'd only know about that if you were a military specialist watching everything.
Yes. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of.
Well, I mean, I mean, you look at something. You have Joe Biden as president of the United States, and he went off-piste with his speech. You know, and said something that his diplomats were saying. You know, this is just going to inflame things. You know, I wish he hadn't said that. Although I was listening to a diplomat on the radio this morning who said, yes, but I mean, everybody agrees with him.
Yes, I know. You know? I just think there's a lot of turmoil at the moment within the world.
Well, you see, Kareem, somebody said to me recently, Scottie, you used to absolutely rip the mince out of everybody on the radio. And that was obviously an attraction. Why do you not do that? And the reason I don't is because people are genuinely hurting at the moment.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I used to rip them inside the taxi drivers when they were making good money. I now know how tough it is. I saw a taxi driver with his head on the roof of his cab, just leaning his head on it. And I walked past, and by way of encouragement, I didn't know him. I said, "Don't worry, it'll get better." And he went, "No, it won't." You know, and people are just having a very, very tough time. And a lot of it is politically motivated. You know, because there's no sign of governments working for the people. They're all working together to say, I think we could screw a fortune out of people if we did this.
There's too many parties across the world, the right-wing parties that are in power at the moment. If you look like North America, etc., a lot of them, Brazil, Argentina, they're now getting rid of these right-wing politicians and they're moving back to the left. So I think change is coming.
Yes.
But it'll be a wee while before England votes in a Labour Party.
Oh, I think, well, you see, they were very, very close to it. And I think the right wing must have been in a panic because Jeremy Corbyn, you know, who was actually stuffed with common sense, whatever your politics are, he was very, very close to being elected. And then they managed to get him on this Brexit thing. And Boris was giving it, let's get Brexit done, you know.
Yeah.
Let's get ourselves absolutely stuffed.
Yes. Well,
yep.
We can feel the effects just now. And we spoke briefly, I know it's going off topic, but within a week's time, well, not even a week's time, Scottie, it's 28th today, isn't it?
Yes.
Now people's bills will be going through the roof.
Absolutely. And I think we were using wool as landfill recently. You know, this country used to export wool in the 1800s, massive, massive woolen garments and leather boots exported from the UK. Now, and Yorkshire, of course, centre of the wool industry, the tweed industry in Scotland, etc., etc. Now, I think if we really went back to woolen garments, which once you've bought them, fixed cost. So listen to this, Kareem. A nice big thick pair of leather boots, woolen socks, woolen trousers, you know, pure wool trousers, silk underwear, a few jumpers, and a bonnet and a hat to keep the heat in. And that would make a huge difference, and a big wool overcoat.
Yeah. Well, all that needs, Scottie, is to get some of these footballers or someone in fashion to wear that, and it will totally remote.
Well, you think about it, Kareem. You're sitting in your front room. The dogs are there. You've just come in from a walk. You've got all your woolens on and everything. You can pop on the telly. The missus says, "Are you warm enough?" You say, "I'm absolutely toasty." You know, the sweat's running off me here, and there's not a bit of gas or electricity on.
You'll laugh at this, Scottie, because I was thinking, like everybody else just now, how can I save a few bobs here and there?
Yeah.
And I have actually, believe it or not, I've saved some money on my pet insurance there and my just other bits and pieces, which I thought, wow, my broadband. But anyway, I came up with an idea, and it was one of my friends who had it, and I thought, I'm going to try that. And you might know this from your younger days, if your parents used it or if there was cleaners, the carpet sweepers where you don't, it's like a Hoover.
Yes, the old carpet sweeper. Yes, a man used to come round. I won't mention the company, but a man used to come round the door and sell you them. And you just gave it a push back and forward, and it just kind of whipped up all the crumbs.
Yes, this one's got one massive brush in the centre and four at the sides. And I would probably, I don't use it in the carpet because I've got about 4 types of hard flooring in my house, and then the rest is carpet, and it works an absolute treat on the hard flooring.
Well, if we need a war of attrition with the power companies, then just the electricity for the fridge and for charging your phone and for the telly. And then no gas at all because we're absolutely roasting hot. And the candles for light, blah, blah, blah.
Well, see, if people did do that, then they would have to do something because they were, wait a minute here, this is affecting our profits.
Yeah.
What we're going to do to get people to start using electricity
or what profits? And you say, well, if you want us to start using it again, get that price right down.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, as you said, Scottie, why is Scotland suffering when we produce so much?
Well, do you know what I found the other night? I was furious. The Isle of Lewis has got massive fuel poverty. Now, they've got a wind that would fold you in half. That with a windmill connected up, the Scottish government should be saying, if you're on the outer islands, then you should be getting your power virtually for nothing. Because they've got hydroelectricity, they've got, I don't know about the islands, but they've got wind power, they've got wave power. All that could be giving them virtually free electricity for heating and lighting.
Yes. There was a conference at the weekend and it was a bit controversial, not controversial, but for some, if you know the party ALBA, which is the leader is Alex Salmond.
Alex Salmond, absolutely, who I think should be brought back as the president of Scotland.
Well, he will. I think he will get back into Parliament next time round. But a lot of these things, they've come up with those ideas, and they are very, very progressive. And what they're saying, and it's kind of, I think it's kick up the backside the SNP need. I think they're becoming a bit too complacent, shall we say. And at this part, when you sometimes you get a bit fed up, Scottie, when you're reading news, it can be really depressing.
Oh, absolutely. That's again why we do the lives at all, because I think people need something that's for them. You know, and not for profit and not for somebody else's gain. You know, just a good bit of chat. I'm going to have to dash. Move this guy along, says Ian. This Kareem bloke. Hey, listen, fantastic. Is this a pro-Scottish phone-in, says Derek and Clive? Yes. Bye, Kareem. Bless you. There we are. Fantastic. HMS Lion was broken up in Jamestown, near Inverkeithing. Scottie, what's your thoughts on P&O sacking 800 plus people? I think they should be reinstated immediately because Peninsular and Orient is a very prestigious name. There we are. And we should not be having behavior like this. So I'm to remember the Canberra, the cruise liner for P&O, Peninsular and Orient Steamship Company. North Sea Oil, Danny, absolutely. North Sea Oil. Guys, I'm going to have to dash from the TikTok. Thank you for a fabulous evening and Dinky-Doo. There we are. That's the TikTok gone. And we've got our wonderful YouTubers here. Thank you for your calls tonight. Thank you for coming and joining us. It's been an outstanding show from me, Scottie McClue. Lots of comments on here. Yeah, move this guy along. Kareem's boring yawn. Could we talk about something constructive? Well, I think energy, Derek and Clive, is very constructive at the moment. What were you going to suggest? Yes, and another guy says, Scottie, you're a blether. I would say to him, why are you watching? Fantastic. Naturally, Deep Scottie's got a large Scottish following. Thank you, Freebie the Silverback. What an absolute topper you are. Guys, it's been a blast. Take great care of yourselves. Check out all the TikTok videos, the YouTube videos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because it's the home of the internet phone-in and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I say to every single one of you, thank you for watching. Have a great night. And as we say in the best of circles, Dinky-Doo. Stick your tongue out and say ta-ta. Ta-ta.